Hey y'all, welcome to my new YouTube channel. My name is Kay Shore and I'm so excited to be here. And I'm so excited that you're here because I know that you could be anywhere else in the world, you could be anywhere else on the internet, but you're here with me right now and I really, really appreciate that. I don't take that for granted, so thank you so much for spending a few minutes with me as I get to share with you why I'm so excited about launching this new channel with all of you. So for those of you who don't know me, I've been on YouTube for over a decade. When it first came out, I was in college and I used it to my first video was either to create a video for my sorority and say happy birthday to the organization because we turned another year old, or I believe I did it because I was running for student body president and of course YouTube was a big thing at the time. How else am I gonna get this video out to them? It wasn't gonna be a thumb drive. So I made my YouTube video and my campaign video on this platform. And ever since then, I've been using my old YouTube channel as a way to just get experience. At the time when I was in school, I was studying to be a high school English teacher. I wanted to do the whole freedom writers thing, but something in me told me that the educational system was gonna change. I didn't know what it was. I just knew, I was like, you know what? If I was a student and I'm barely paying attention now, and I find myself a lot on this screen, I was like, I gotta do something different. And so then I changed my major halfway through college and I decided I wanted to become a talk show host. I didn't know how to become a talk show host. I didn't know what that was gonna entail. I accidentally got a degree that didn't necessarily put me in the right path for that. I thought I was gonna go towards more journalism and radio and TV, but I ended up getting a different one and I started learning about just group communication, nonverbal communication, public speaking and that sort. And so I was like, okay, well, let me start a YouTube channel and let's just start experimenting with that. So you can check out my old YouTube video. You'll see a lot of interviews, a lot of vlogs, lessons that I just kind of shared with folks on Sundays, documentation of my life, hosting, and putting on my own shows. So it's just really more of a portfolio than anything. If I got anything from that experience, I saw that what I was really doing was I was really self-therapizing myself. I know that's not a word. I was like doing self-therapy. I was doing self-coaching because I didn't know who to turn to in terms of pursuing this career path. And so I got into a lot of things like radio and starting multimedia local platforms and podcasts and shows and YouTube shows. And I was just trying a lot of different things and just throwing about a whole bunch of spaghetti on the wall. And then I saw myself kind of falling into the YouTube metrics, right? I started falling into the views and the likes and all that sort. And I started realizing that I was getting a lot of validation from it. And I think a lot of YouTubers and just folks who just interact with social media feel that a lot. And so I ended up taking a break in 2018 and just said, hey, like, I'm more than these numbers, I'm more than these metrics. And so let's take a break and see what else is out there. And so I did. And so after it's been over a decade of just testing a lot of things out and taking that break, I've realized that if there's anything that I'm passionate about, it is self-coaching and self-education. And so what that means to me is the importance of critical thinking, the importance of thinking for ourselves and knowing what's best for us. I want us to recognize that the world is telling us so many things, including myself. I'm telling you these things, but there's nothing more important that I personally got from my experience in college than critical thinking, than thinking for ourselves. That's what I remember the most, is like, how do we take a piece of content and really ask ourselves and dissect it and deconstruct it and reconstruct it and be like, how does this work for me and how does it make sense for me and my truth? And so if there's anything that I've noticed out in the world is that unfortunately there's not enough truth out there. And I know that truth is this big word. It can mean so many things, but at the end of the day, truth is what it means for us. And so I just wanted to be someone to walk alongside you, to ask those questions of ourselves. That's where the self-coaching comes in. And so I just want to share with you the things that I've done, the things that I've learned, the things that I'm currently learning, and the things that I'm seeking out to learn more about myself and how I want to walk through the world. And so I remember being in school and I was like, there has to be a way for me to fuse education and entertainment. And so again, that's why I'm coming back to YouTube, because not only did I not find it out there, I'm like, okay, it's not out here, so I have to create it. But second is that I did not see enough people that look like me on screens. And so I thought if I took a break, someone's gonna do it. There's gonna be plenty of representation. But unfortunately, as I still see out in the world, I don't see enough representation of folks that look like myself. And so if anything, I'm doing this, and for anyone I'm doing this for, is for my younger self. My younger self just needed so much help, so much love. I still do. But I would like to say I've learned a couple things along the way. And so younger self, if you're watching this, I hope you know that the content I'm creating is the things that I know that you wish existed when we started watching screens. What that looks like is that I want to bring things that I'm learning alongside with all of you. So the books that I'm reading, the podcasts I'm listening to, the interviews that I'm watching, the content that's online, and how I think we need to have some bigger conversation about things that we're still putting out there, the experiences I'm having, and also the experiments that I'm having with myself. You're gonna see a lot of 30-day challenges I'm gonna put upon myself, and such as like no caffeine, and see how those work out for us. And so I want you to know that at the end of the day, my intent is to build a community, and not just any community, but a community of leaders. Because again, we can have a whole bunch of influencers and we can have a whole bunch of followers, but what are we doing with them? What are we doing when we're gathering people and galvanizing people? Like, how are we empowering others? And so for me, I think leadership is truly missing in the world right now. And I want you to know that I don't believe that leadership is necessarily a position, but it's being a person of influence. And I want you to recognize that all of us are people of influence. And so it's not just about being of influence for people on social media, but how are we being an influence to our family? How are we being an influence to our friends? How are we being an influence to our communities? How are we being influence to our schools? Like, I want us to know how much power we have in such a positive way, and how do we harness that so that we can have a positive effect on others? And more importantly, how do we become leaders in our own lives? That is the biggest thing that I really want to show and put out there into the world, because again, the whole world is telling us who we should be, what we should like, what we don't need, all of these things. And again, I'm another person who's putting this out here, but I want us to be able to think for ourselves, to ask those questions for ourselves. Does this speak true to us? Because at the end of the day, like, this life is so short. And I could tell you, when I said a decade ago that I started a YouTube channel, I'm like, it went by like this. And so I just want you to know, like, this is the life that we have, and that there's nothing more important for us to not only show up for ourselves, but to lead ourselves in this life. And that's difficult in a world that is telling us so many different things. And so I just want you to know I'm passionate about teaching students who want to be here. That's something that I've always said ever since I was going to get my degree in education. It's like, I want to teach a curriculum I'm passionate about, and I want to teach students that want to be here. So if you're here, I want to commend you, because you're still watching this video, and I really appreciate that. But there's nothing more that I want than to just be with people and in community with people that want to be here, who want to do better, who want to be better, who want to be leaders in their lives and in their families, and just want to live the best life that they can by being the best versions of themselves that they can. So I just want you to know, and I want you to expect that I will say things that will possibly upset you. I will say things that will possibly frustrate you. I want you to know I'll say things that you absolutely disagree with. And I want you to know that that is completely okay. At the end of the day, everything I say is on the table. You don't have to take any of it. You could take some of it. You could take none of it. You could take all of it, as long as it speaks true to you. Because I'm just a human, just like you, speaking my truth, sharing with what's worked for me, what's working for me, and what I'm trying out, hoping that it's gonna help me and help someone else. That even though my soul is in this vessel, I want you to know that I may say things that are countercultural. I may say things that go against everything that the world is telling us. I may do things that are completely opposite than a lot of other people. I'm gonna share things of who I am today in this moment, in this year, in this space, and to give me grace that I can change my mind in that process too, and you can too. And that's the amazing thing about being human, is that we get to change, we get to evolve, and we get to be whoever we want to be. And that's what I'm talking about being leaders in our own lives. At the end of the day, if there is something that frustrates us, if there is something that disappoints us, thankfully we have therapy. Thankfully we're talking about mental health. Thankfully we have friends and family that we can talk to. And honestly, if anything, I truly encourage us to have a conversation. If there's something that frustrates you or upsets you that I say, and it's a moment for growth for us, I'm all in about it. And I'm here for humanity. I'm here for my younger self. I'm here for the future self that I want to see. I'm just here sharing what I've learned because I want to see others who are also having the courage to be the leaders in their own lives, to walk alongside each other, y'all. It's all love. It's okay if we disagree. I don't think there's enough conversations of us working through conflict together. And so I'm not perfect at it, but I want you to know that I'm open to it. I hope that you look forward to being a part of this community that hasn't even started yet, but it will. I'm so excited to get to know you. I'm so excited for us to build something here. I'm so excited for us to just gather as leaders who want to be better versions of ourselves and to want to make a positive impact in our communities, you know. And again, it doesn't have to be this big thing. It could just be a positive impact on our own lives and the closest person to us. There's not enough leaders in the world, y'all, and the direction we're going in, we're gonna need it. I appreciate y'all, I love y'all, so thank you so much for watching, and I cannot wait to see you in 2 weeks for the next video. All right, thank you all so much for being here, and I will see you all very soon. Bye now.